Namaskar. This discourse is about judgment. Judgment about ourselves, judgment about other people's, as an organization, judging people, as a society, and on the cosmic level, Parama Purusha. Sins are just like the dust that settles on our clothes. By shaking the clothing, the dust will vanish. This simple action can be done by everyone. Anandamarga has clarified that human beings are the progeny, the children of the Supreme Being, and are thus the objects of his love and affection. Whatever might be the nature of the sins they commit, they will never be deprived of his affection. Paramapurusha may scold them, but he can never hate them. He will simply shake the dust off their clothes and take them onto his lap. So, the most important thing is complete surrender. People should always remember that they are the progeny, the children of Paramapurusha. That is enough. In this regard, something also should be clarified, something which differentiates the ideas of Anandamarga from other established ideas. Anandamarga is very different from isms and theories. We do not want to condemn people over very small or trivial matters, a practice which was common in our past society, ridden with various caste divisions and so on. According to our philosophy, only that injustice which harms others should be considered as papa, sin. In ancient times, people were made outcasts on trivial charges of social crimes. We do not subscribe to such beliefs. According to us, the only error which may be considered as a sin is one which harms the society, and nothing else. In the past, mental wrongdoing was considered as a sin in all cases, according to the ancient tantric traditions too. It is, of course, a fact that all sins first originate in the mind, that mental sins are transformed into external sins. But according to Anandamarga, unless mental sins take external form, thus harming the society, they should not be considered punishable. Sadhakas, however, will always rectify their mental sins because they may take external form one day. If the mental sin does not take external form, if the mental sin does take external form, it should be punished vigorously. An effective way of rectifying mental sins is to sing and dance kirtan. One should not keep thinking again and again why such a thought came in the mind. It is useless to do so. You should continue to discharge your duties with an open mind, with full awareness of your responsibilities. You should not waste your time bothering about the minor deviations you make along the path of your movement. We are no longer like the ancient logicians or lawmakers. Our duty is to make the best use of the strength and capacity of the entire human race, to analyze everything, or to suppress human strength and capacity, or to limit human activities, can never be considered as humanistic. Moreover, I do not think it good to criticize anyone behind their backs, saying, well, Mr. So-and-so may be leading a virtuous life now, but don't you know he was a terrible sinner in the past? We must forget the past. I said at the beginning that sins are like the dust of the street that settles on clothing. We must shake this dust off and move ahead. Those considered social criminals will have to accept punishment in accordance with the law. Even if society does not punish the wrongdoers, they are bound to be punished by Prakriti. Under no circumstances, however, will Paramapurusha ever consider them as hated beings. One should not think, "Oh dear, dear, I'm such a sinner. Oh, how can I ever approach Paramapurusha?" Rather, one should think that as one is a sinner, one should rush up to Paramapurusha as quickly as possible, saying, "So much dust has accumulated on my clothes. How strange it is that you still haven't taken me on your lap and shaken it all off." One should ask insistently why one was allowed to be covered with so much dust for so long. Always remember that an effective way of freeing the mind from one's past sins is to sing and dance kirtan. This will certainly bring about the desired result. You should also remember that no matter how many sins you have committed, you are never subject to hatred in the eyes of Paramapurusha. He may scold you, but he cannot hate you. I have said many times that Paramapurusha cannot do two things. He cannot create a second Paramapurusha like himself, because whoever has established an intimate friendship with him, whoever has identified himself with him, becomes one with him. Secondly, however hard he may try, he can never hate anyone, because everything is in his mind. Even if he wanted to hate someone, to hate would mean that he was indirectly hating himself. And that is why Paramapurusha cannot hate anyone, even if he wants to. You should always remember this. So, we often judge ourselves and others, but here it says that whatever might be the nature of the sins they commit, they will never be deprived of the affection of Paramapurusha. It's interesting that it talks about how how he intended our outlook as an organization, as a society should be, that we don't condemn people on small things, only things which, cause harm to the society. And how we should not allow we should not waste time either by judging ourselves. So we make some mistake, and you can waste a lot of time and kind of drain your own energy by judging. And what he says is just get on with it. Don't, look at all these small mistakes that you make along the way. Forget the past. Look forward. Remember that Paramapurusha loves you no matter what you do, and remind yourself that you are a child of the divine being. And an interesting suggestion there is it's something to think about and try it yourself. If you find yourself judging yourself, try to cut through that and just say, Paramapurusha, why have you not shaken the dust off my clothes, right? Why are you just, not taking me onto your lap? Why have you let me be in this condition for so long? So it's not an idea that I think occurs to most of us. If you're struggling with something, you've made some mistakes, it's a kind of a refreshing idea of how to approach it. Instead of judging and condemning, just connect with Paramapurusha and take that idea. So here I am, why have you allowed me to stay in this condition for so long? And then, we often talk about how can we get rid of past karma? And here it says directly, an effective way of freeing your mind from past sins is to sing and dance kirtan. And I remember one DMC discourse, I think, where Baba said that if you sing once Bhavanam Kevalam with deep sincerity and feeling, it has the power to remove more sins than you could possibly commit in one lifetime. So that's something to think about. So you can, there it is, the way to remove your past karma. And I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, but just this, something that Baba repeated a lot of time, that Paramapurusha has two weaknesses, and one of them is that he can't hate anybody. Even if he tries, he can't. So I think a lot of us carry around this fear of rejection, and that underlying presence of that fear of rejection kind of affects the quality of our life and our happiness. But just thinking about that and really reminding yourself that Paramapurusha simply cannot hate you, cannot kick you out, cannot reject you. It's impossible. That's one of the things that Paramapurusha can't do. He can't reject you. So reminding yourself again and trying to get rid of that subconscious fear that many of us have from past traumas, perhaps. All right. Namaskar.